Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Morning Hustle. It's a man who's got it all, man. Dude's an EGOT winner, has a brand new project out right now called Bigger Love, and you need to be all about it, man. One time for John Legend.
Yeah. Morning, y'all. How you doing?
You know, living one day at a time. How's everything going on your end?
One day at a time. I'm happy to have new music out. I'm feeling good, and yeah.
I just wanted to say, with I got to watch VERZUZ over the weekend, and it was so entertaining. It was just what the people needed. It felt good. And you did what you said was Chrissy's favorite song off of there, which is your song with Jhené Aiko.
Yes.
I love that song.
That's the only new song I played during the battle, just because it felt like it was the right moment to play it. And I love the song. Chrissy loves it. A lot of our fans love it. It's definitely one of the more popular joints on the new album. It's called You Move, I Move. And I was just happy me and Jhené could do another track together.
Yeah, because you were on her album as well. Yes. It's like you guys have a nice flow. And that's one of the big things I caught from listening to you on VERZUZ was I was like, man, John could do a lot of collab albums. You and Jhené, you and Rick Ross. People were saying, hey, we can do these collab albums all day, John. What's up?
Yeah, me and Rick, if you put all the tracks together that we've done, you could have basically a whole album just off of the ones we've already done. But yeah, we something about our voices and the tracks we like to do, it really works well together.
It sounds rich. I mean,
you
can't afford it.
It's like the better of both worlds. You know what I'm saying? Definitely cooking. Like, what's your whole process? Like, when you bang out a joint new in the studio, who do you let hear it first? Who's your go-to?
Well, I worked with Raphael Sadiq on this whole album, and so
legend.
We even when we didn't do a track together from the beginning, I would play it for him, and sometimes he would help add things to it, play guitar, play bass on it, bring another horn player or string arranger in. So he would just really help me finish everything. And he helped me decide which songs would go on the album and everything like that.
Oh, what's left on the cutting room floor? Like, how many songs?
Oh, there's a lot. I always write a lot, though. I have so many extra songs I haven't used. I usually write like 40 or 50 for every album.
And it took you a while to even record this album and to get this album together. So is there something that you're looking back on the album now? Because the album is amazing. But is there anything looking back that you're like, damn it, maybe I should have added that one record with so-and-so?
No, because this is already on the long side for me to do 16 tracks and 55 minutes. That's like, most of my albums have been even shorter, like more like 50 minutes, 51 minutes. So this is already like on the longer side for me. So I wouldn't add any more. If anything, I couldn't decide to take one off because normally I would want it to be a little shorter, but I just was like, none of these songs do I really want to take off. So I didn't want to regret not having something there. And the thing about streaming now, everybody can make the album as long as they want it. If they don't like a track, they can take it out of their playlist. They can do whatever they want. And so I figured let's err on the side of giving them slightly more and still being proud of every track. And if they don't want to listen to every single one, they can not play it.
Now, when you have on the album, you have certain artists that you have as like John Legend and Gary Clark Jr. and Rhapsody instead of featuring. Is there a reason why it's set up like that?
Well, every streaming service, they list things differently. On the way we list it on the credits is featuring, but when you give it to Spotify or you give it to Apple, they usually do and because they want fans of Gary Clark to still look up, to still find it, if they're interested in that artist.
That makes sense. Now, like looking at the rundown of who you got, and I love the fact that a lot of times people will go for everybody who is hot on fire, but you got dope people on your project. Like not everybody's running to go grab Rhapsody. I mean, because I'm ahead, that was like one of my favorite joints off the album. And I also one that you was having with Camper on I'm Ready. It's like an up-tempo, it's a bop to it. How do you go about picking the people that you collaborate with?
Well, a lot of it's just listening to music. So I was listening to Rhapsody's album a lot last year. I really loved it. I think my nephew put me onto it first. And I started listening to it a lot last year. And I was just a fan of her work. And I had a song that I thought she would sound great on. And I was just like, I'm going to hit her up. So I met her at the Rock Nation brunch. this year at the Grammys. And I was like, hey, I've been wanting to meet you. I have a song that's perfect for you. And I sent it to her, and she laced it. It was beautiful.
I want to talk about your wine, because I know you have a wine, and you did lip service with me and my homegirls, and you talked about the wine.
I remember that, yes.
Yeah, but it has since come out. So let's talk about it. How's it doing? It's delicious, by the way, because I got the chance to try one of your wines. So how's it going so far?
Well, the rosé is officially rosé season, so that one's doing very well. That's one of our favorites here at our house, and we like to give it to our friends. Our friends love it. And we also have a Cabernet, we have a Chardonnay, and another red blend. So yeah, it's doing very well. You can see it at lvewines.com, and you can order it. They'll ship it straight to your house.
Are you learning a lot about wines? Because I feel like I watched that one thing on Netflix. What was the name of that movie where
I know what you're talking about.
You know what I'm talking about?
Uncorked.
Uncorked. So did you start to learn a little bit more about wine?
I spent a lot of time in Napa Valley. I've been to Tuscany in Italy. I've been to Provence, which is where we get our rosé from. So, you know, I've spent a lot of time in various wine regions around the world and tasted a lot. And the partners we work with are just world renowned for making great wines. So I worked with really good people, and I've learned a lot on my own, and I'm very involved in every blend that we make. And I'm really proud of what we've done.
Like, how involved? Like, are you crushing the grapes yourself?
I'm not crushing them. I'm not crushing them, but I'm blending them. You know, so we work with the blend master for the wine company, and we really sit together and just taste until we feel like it's right.
Also, we wanted to tell you Happy Father's Day.
Thank
we see
you,
you
thank
had
you.
a dope Father's Day special. And so whose idea was that to even put that together? Because I've never seen a Father's Day special like that, and it was really entertaining.
Well, ABC, we have a TV deal with them, with my production company, and we were trying to figure out something to do together. And they knew my album was coming out around Father's Day. They were like, you know, let's do a Father's Day special. And so, you know, I never really made a big deal out of Father's Day before, but I thought it could be fun to do some songs from the new album and do a Father's Day special. And then I reached out to our comedy partners that we work with on another show we do called Sherman Showcase, which is
really
like
dope show. It's funny too.
Spoof of it's like a spoof of Soul Train and some of those old shows we used to watch growing up. And those guys, Diallo, Riddle, and Bashir Salahuddin, they write that show and they star in that show. And they're really good at writing comedy and music. And so we thought it'd be good to do the Father's Day special with them. And so they wrote me some great material. We got some great guests to be on it. And then I got to do some of my songs and a couple covers too. So we really put together a nice show. I was really happy with it.
Your dad on there. Y'all look like twins.
Yeah.
Your genes are really strong because your kids look just like you. And you look
Miles
just like
looks just like me. Yeah, I look like my dad, and Miles looks just like me. I look like my dad's whole side of the family because his brothers, I think I even look more like his brothers than I look like him. But we passed those genes down strong.
Now, John, I was going to ask too, I know you spoke to, during VERZUZ, you spoke to like how you started this record label at one point and you had signed Estelle and realized that you running a company or running a label wasn't really what you wanted to do. And now you have all these different ventures. How do you feel you've grown just as a businessman within this industry, you know, especially because you are a musical prodigy, but it's like now you're kind of, you've really diversified.
Yeah, I realized I didn't want to have a label because I felt too much responsibility for individual artists. Like I had to focus so much energy on helping them get their records together and all the things that went into it. And I still feel that way. Like I wouldn't want to sign an artist even now.
Right.
And just because it's really a lot of responsibility. And when it comes to music, I love collaborating with other artists, but I don't want to feel like I have to shepherd their whole career. And so it just felt like it was too much for me. But I still enjoy the ventures I do outside of the business of making music, like the wine and my TV and film production company. A lot of that stuff is run by my team and run by people I really trust. And so I don't have to shepherd it as much on every step and every move that we make. And so it's the right balance for me where I can still focus on music and my family and still have these ventures that I trust my team to run.
Now, speaking of family,
okay. I was going to say, did you ever take anything personal when you were signed to, well, technically, I guess you still are with Kanye, or I'm not really 100% sure.
No, I had 5 albums with Kanye, and I'm done with that deal. So I'm signed straight to the label now. But I was signed through his production company for a long time.
So did you ever feel like you had that issue at a certain point in time? Because I know y'all also had a friendship, but did you ever feel like maybe if I wasn't signed to an artist that was then had me signed to a label that I would have more, you know, leeway or more attention or
honestly, it was only good for me. Me signing to Kanye helped me get a record deal. It gave me access to one of the great producers in the business as far as just getting tracks and all the things I wanted from him. And it put me in a position where I could go off on my own after that because I had already established myself. So it was really only good for me being signed to him. And it was successful in every way, really, financially, creatively. It was just a good thing. And, you know, I didn't need it anymore after I'd been established, but I wouldn't have been established if I didn't have it.
Right, because I seen y'all bumped heads recently, and I know that presidentially y'all have different views on things. So I wasn't sure, and I was really wondering if that was something that played a part in it, or is it really just your politics that you disagree in that made y'all separate a little?
Well, it's funny because our deal was already done when that conversation happened. So I had already done 5 albums, and I was already expecting to be out on my own anyway after the 5 albums. So that conversation around Trump, which it was out of love. Like, honestly, I didn't have animosity toward him. I was just disappointed that he was out there, you know, saying the things he was saying, because I felt like it wasn't helpful to our people. It wasn't helpful to the country. It just wasn't helpful. And so you all saw what I said to him because he posted it. And, you know, I was just trying to help him think about it and have a different perspective. And I truly wasn't mad in the sense of like, I can't be friends with you, or I can't be associated with you, or love you as a brother and as someone that, you know, helped shape my career. Like, I didn't feel that way. I was just disagreed with him and let him know, and was disappointed that he was saying the things he was saying.
Have y'all talked since then, just to kind of like on the phone? Like, hey,
we've talked not on the phone. We talked in person. Like, we've had holiday events together. We're basically, you know, I looked at us like we're family. Like, we grew up together essentially. Like, we've been working together since I was in my early 20s, and you know, he's been a huge part of my life. His wife and my wife are friends. Like, their whole family is friends with my family. So, like, we're still family, I feel.
That's dope. Now, John, you talked a lot about your family and how important that is. Now, one thing that I recognize about you is that your wife is phenomenal with her responses of stuff that she says. And she's hilarious.
She's great.
Now, as a husband, I want to know, is there any times that she says stuff that you feel like this should be on TV, or this is something that if the world saw this, it would be hilarious? Is there any time like that in the house? How do you deal with that?
Well, she's so funny. I feel like she should be on TV more. And, you know, she's got her own production company, and they're figuring out more ways to, you know, write ideas and do the things that they're going to do. But of course, she has the Quibi show, Chrissy's Court. And then she's been a judge on Bring the Funny, which was on NBC, and may come back. So she's got outlets right now to be on TV and be funny, but I feel like they need to find a perfect outlet for her to just be her funny self.
Right.
And she makes me laugh at home all the time.
What happens when she makes fun of you though? Like in the live, she was going on your jeans heavy, like went in on your jeans. And at one point, and it was funny.
It was funny. You know,
you let it go.
I'm the butt of the joke sometimes too.
Like a champ, though.
That's the price you got to pay when you live with somebody funny. You sometimes are the butt of the joke, but I feel like I enjoy it more than anybody because she makes me laugh all the time.
I want Chrissy to fill in the
was
seat
nerve,
for the
though.
real. Oh, sorry. I want her to fill in the seat for the real. I know Amanda
She would be
Seals
good on the real. She would be
That
right?
would be dope.
I think she would be perfect there. So y'all could just give me a percentage of the check since
Okay, okay.
No, I'm joking.
Okay.
Well, keeping it on Chrissy for a hot second, like what show did she do that you enjoyed her the most on?
Well, I feel like Chrissy's Court is right up her alley because it allows her to just talk about petty shit that she likes to talk about anyway. And she makes so many funny comments, and some of the cases that come in there are just hilarious. I felt like it's a perfect thing for her.
And what's your favorite album of Chrissy's? Like, well, what's Chrissy's favorite album of yours?
I was gonna say, she hasn't played the album yet.
You be spitting on the lip sync challenge.
She really loves this one, and I think she loved Love in the Future a lot too. I think between this new one, Bigger Love, and Love in the Future, I think those are probably her two favorites.
Well, shouldn't it be All of Me, John? Because isn't All of Me about her?
All of Me is on Love in the Future, yeah.
Okay. So I do want to say that you have a song on there called Actions, where you're saying that they speak louder than love songs. But as we do know, you did All of Me for her. So what's something that you may say that you've done action-wise that may measure up to you writing that song for her?
Well, I'm going to say writing that song was an action.
Yeah, true.
That's
but
an
it's
action.
I got it out there for you, baby.
Check on that one.
No, but I think, the whole point of the song, I was actually really writing the song from the perspective of when I was a bachelor, when I was writing like Get Lifted and Once Again. And I was writing, some songs about being dirty, like songs about cheating. She don't have to know exactly. But also during that time, I wasn't even in a serious relationship, but I was also writing like Ordinary People and Stay With You.
Right.
And so I was really taking it back because I felt like that beat took me back to Get Lifted time. And so I really wanted to write a song that took me back to that era of me being single and being a little bit messy and not living up to my love songs. So I felt like that's really what the song was about.
Hey, bro, I don't think you know how many people smoked to that whole album. You know,
Get Lifted.
Like, we need you to give us some more smoking vibe music too, man. Because we used to stay getting hot of that in college. I ain't gonna lie to you. I got
Yes, I feel like you got some of that on this album too, Bigger Love. I feel like we definitely pulled some of the Get Lifted vibes back to this album. So I feel like people that really fell in love with my first album will hear a lot on this album that feels good to them.
I interned at Sony at the time, and I stole a bunch of your Get Lifted CDs and was giving them to all my friends. So I was like on the promo team.
You're telling on yourself.
Trading for weed.
It's okay. It's done now.
Now, John Legend, you occupy an interesting space because you have a song for damn near every occasion.
Yes,
now,
true.
when it's time for John Legend to get busy, because you made so much music that John Legend, John Legend has made so much music that people can get busy too.
Yeah.
What do you listen to when it's time to get busy?
Facts from this last few months before the album came out, we played some of my new music. Now, I don't normally listen to myself.
Okay, John.
I don't normally listen to myself, but I wanted Chrissy to hear the new music, and I felt like it was a good scenario during which to play the music. And so we did.
They don't call you Legend for nothing now.
We did it, and it was my music, and I was just road testing the new music. Make sure y'all could do what y'all needed to do with it.
Singing along.
No, I wasn't singing along.
Whose idea was it in the verses to have two pianos?
It was my idea from the beginning because people were asking me, because I would do these interviews, like I was promoting the new singles and stuff. And they were like, Versus was getting big and people kept asking me, who would you do one with? And I was thinking about, I was like, only person that really made sense to me was do it with Alicia because we both played the piano. When I first came out, they always called me the male Alicia Keys anyway.
Right.
Because she had just, I think she came out in 2001 and I came out in 2004. So they was always comparing me to her. Anyway, my first tour, I was opening for her. And so it just felt like we had kind of parallel careers. We both played piano. We both have a similar style. And it felt like the exact right thing to do. And I was right, obviously, because it worked out.
Were you worried about the Teddy Riley factor though? Because I know anytime you add a level of difficulty with live instrumentation,
he almost had a Teddy Riley moment.
That's why I shouted him out, because I was like, I couldn't find a track I was trying to play and it wasn't working. So I was like, let me go to another song.
Great recovery.
Come back to this one.
We was worried about Swiss Beat Sabotage, like on this kind of no.
Who knew what could happen? I had my own sound guys there just in case, just to make sure. No, but Swizz wouldn't do me like that. I love that brother, and we've been friends for a long time. And I know he's definitely biased, but he made sure everything was copacetic, and it was all even and fair.
I love how you played "You Don't Know My Name" for Alicia Keys. It was singing in the background and all that.
Yes, that was one of my favorite moments of the whole thing, because it just that you couldn't have done that any other way than with us there in the same room, and
it was perfect.
Us both on the pianos. And that's what I thought would be unique about this one compared to the other ones where most people were just press and play. I felt like this would be special in that way.
Ooh, shots fired, shots fired.
Check this out. We were talking about this off the grid before y'all did y'all verses, right? Now, if there was a gentrified versus battle between the other dueling pianos, if you had to go at Billy Joel or Elton John in a versus, who would you give it a shot with?
I would not. They're like decades longer careers of mine. They got mad hits.
Okay, what about if they went against each other? What
if they went against each other?
Yeah.
I'm a little more of an Elton guy than a Billy Joel guy, but I mean, I feel like they're both incredible, but I definitely have enjoyed more Elton music over the years, and I've sang with him before, and I sang one of his songs on my Father's Day special last night. So I'm a big Elton fan.
Solid.
Now, we all know 2019, you were labeled People's Sexiest Man Alive, right? Now,
Yes.
if you yourself had to pass on the baton to someone of the culture, who would you pass it on to?
Well, I got it passed to me from Idris Elba, which wasn't even fair. Everybody knows Idris is sexier than me. Everyone knows this. A lot of people on my Twitter feed, because people love to tell you who should have won instead of you on your Twitter feed. That's why when they told me I was gonna get it, I wasn't even that happy, because I was like, y'all just set me up for people to fuck with me.
Did the treatment in your house change at all?
Chrissy did show me a little more respect for like a few days. She was like, he was genuinely proud of me, like for a second, and then we got back to normal. No, a lot of people were telling me Jason Momoa should have gotten it, and so I feel like he probably might be the next guy. We'll see.
So to everybody out there in the world, it's safe to say that there's more hassle that comes with that title than hype.
It's always a double-edged sword. It's like, oh, it's nice. They put me on the cover. I get a lot of press, and also people just going to talk shit about me too. So it's like you gotta be ready for both.
So speaking of talk shit, how do you feel about the people that say I know you heard this before. They say you look like Arthur.
Why do you think I grew a beard?
So that was part of the reason?
No, I'm joking, but it was funny because I really didn't know who Arthur was, because when I was a kid, I was a little too old to know who Arthur was. Like he wasn't around when I was a kid.
Right.
And so when I would see people compare me to this cartoon, I was like, I truly didn't know who the dude was. And Chrissy had to tell me who he was. And she's 7 years younger than me, so she's like she was like in the right generation to know exactly who he was.
Right.
So I didn't really care. Like, we made a lot of fun of it, and I even had it in my Twitter bio that was no relation to Arthur. For a while.
I think that should be your Halloween costume. You and Chrissy should be like DW and Arthur to make fun of it.
I feel like we run the joke into the ground already. So I'm done with it now.
One thing we can't run into the ground is your amazing accomplishments, man. You got the EGOT, the Emmy, the Grammy, the Oscar, the Tony. Now, when one person gets that, do you have them all together, grouped up like Voltron, or they're all in strategic places in your house so nobody can get you for everything at once?
They're all together. So if you've seen any of my performances from my piano since we've been on lockdown, they've always been on display right there next to my piano, and they're all together. So the EGOT, if you want to get all of them at the same time, you want to rob the house, they're on the same spot.
Oh my goodness.
Wow.
I do feel like you are one of the first artists to do the Instagram live concerts, especially once the quarantine went down, because we've talked about some of your shows that you've had, and you also how you played the next episode beat at first, and that's how we first realized that you flipped that beat. Is there anything else you have your eye on hip hop wise that you may want to flip?
Well, you know, I worked with Oak Felder. He's one of the producers on the album, and that was his idea to flip that. And it was also his idea to do a track at the beginning of the album that's doo-wop meets trap. So we definitely incorporated the hip hop influence that I've always had in my career, but we, you know, we did it a lot in Get Lifted particularly, and we wanted to bring that back for this album. And that's why I feel like a lot of my fans that have been with me since the beginning will really love this new album, because we were able to incorporate those hip hop beats and that rhythm into the music a lot this time.
It was a dope start. Now, for those who just joined us, we're talking to John Legend. And John, you have one of the most squeaky clean images in the game. But yo, one time for the culture. What's the last time you stole something just to prove you got it?
Stole something? I never really was, even when I was a kid, like I stole candy from the candy store like one time when I was a kid, but I was like a goody two-shoes even as a kid. I was a little nerdy. You know, I was a singer. I was a straight A student. I didn't like getting in trouble, so I was actually a pretty good kid all along. I never really was a thief.
Oh, that's great.
But what's one thing that people would be shocked that John Legend does because they just don't expect it from you? Because, I mean, yo, never seen your World Star, you know, unless it was like
a great thing.
Have you ever been in a fight?
Not since I was a kid with my brothers. Like, I never got in fight at school. People left me alone. And, you know, like
I want you to rob a bank or something.
Man, y'all trying to get me arrested.
Right, like,
I have a family.
Don't listen to them.
That's the new movie coming out, John Legend, the assassin.
What about acting?
Yeah, I mean, of course, I did a little acting in my special last night, and I've been in La La Land and a couple other things. And I'll probably do some more acting in the future. I love it. I've had a lot of fun when I've done it. I like doing things that people wouldn't expect, like doing funnier stuff. I think everyone expects me to be in like a romance or something like that, but I like doing stuff that's funnier and a little less expected for me.
Bro,
so,
they did a Blackbird
Between Two Ferns. So, you know, just done some random stuff like that.
You ever seen the TV show You that comes on Netflix about the dude who really likes? Yo, if you could play just a super, you know, like a dude who's nice, but he got a dark side. I don't think nobody can see that coming.
Yeah.
Okay. I like where you guys are going with my image.
You know we know your image consultant.
Don't listen.
That's the reason why we have no trophies whatsoever.
You're like, John, you got to dirty yourself up a little bit.
I want you to smack some people around.
Yo, man, continued success and much love to you, man. The project is called Bigger Love. It's out right now. If you was getting on an elevator and had to explain to people in 30 seconds or less why they should get it, what would you say?
It's fun, it's soulful, it's sexy, it's upbeat, it just feels good, and it's the perfect album for the summer. So, Bigger Love, that's what you need to get.
There's songs that get pregnant to. There's so like, you know, meet the person that you're going to get pregnant by. There's songs the dirty wine too. And there's songs that just stand on the corner in front of a fire and just do our back and forth to it. First song of the album.
You're doing my elevator pitch. Thank you.
One time, y'all, for the man, the myth, the legend, John Legend.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
We are the Morning Hustle.